Hey guys, welcome back to another one. Today I wanted to share my total earnings and expenses, and this will be doing multi-apping, and this is only up to Wednesday of this week, where I did. Hey Lisa, welcome to the channel. Alex Miranda, welcome. I appreciate you stopping by. I wanted to share with you how much I made driving Uber Eats and DoorDash while multi-apping in comparison to what I made driving Uber Rideshare last week. So what I have is a printout of what I'll share with you guys, and I'll break it down with you. And I just want to show you whether it makes sense driving Uber multi-apping with DoorDash in comparison to driving Uber overall. Now, depreciation I'm not taking into account, because for the one reason being, I've been driving rideshare a little bit less, because I simply don't want to put that many miles on my car. So let's break it down. I'll turn and normally I would do this on a computer with the screen recording, but I'm like I said, I'm always busy and I don't have a whole lot of time doing these lives at home. So I want to break it down for you guys of what I actually made driving Uber Eats and DoorDash this past week. So I don't know how clear this is, but driving a 2009 Ford Focus up to Wednesday, so multi-apping, I earned $97.97 with Uber Eats, and I earned $70.75. My total earnings was $168.72, and this is a total of a combined 6 hours of active driving, including the online hours. A lot of people can argue by saying, well, you can't really take into account the online time. Well, I'm taking my online time into account, because this was the overall time that I've invested into Uber Eats and DoorDash together. So I made a total of $168.72. Right now, Alex, I'm only talking about Uber Eats and DoorDash. I'll get to the driving Uber last week of what I made. So driving Uber Eats and DoorDash together, I made $168.72. By looking at my expenses, my gasoline, a full tank of gas cost me $30. My insurance is $10 a week. I drove 127 miles. My cell phone is $12.50. Oil changes, I took $50 divided by 3 months divided by weekly, $4 and odd change a week. And taxes, I did 20% of tax of the overall earning, because that's how much I'll be putting at the end of the year. So my total expenses is $90.41 for the month. I'm sorry, not for the month, for the week. So 168 minus 90.41, I made $78.30 after expenses, divided by total online time was 60 hours. Like I said, I was multi-apping, and I drove 6 hours. My hourly wage is $13.51 of how much I made multi-apping up to Wednesday of this week, $13.50 after expenses. Now let's compare that to a 2016 Honda Civic, and this was my wages last week. This is what I drove last week. So my expenses, so my depreciation, my mileage, I don't know the exact number of miles I drove, maybe about 150 mile mark. I'm not taking depreciation into account at this point, but 2016 Honda Civic, last week, entire week, I earned $321. My gas was about $30, full tank of gas. My insurance is $35 a week. So in comparison to the Ford, my insurance is $140 per month divided by week. It's $35 a week. My cell phone bill is the same. Oil changes is the same. Taxes on a weekly basis, I would be paying 20% of 321, which is 64.2. My total expenses for the week, excluding this mileage and depreciation, I'm not taking that into account at this point, because you can either do one or the other at the end of the year, whichever is higher. So for that reason, I'm comparing gig economy deliveries in comparison to rideshare. My overall earnings was $321 before taxes, before expenses. 321 minus 145.86, which is my weekly expenses, gasoline, insurance, cell phone, and so forth, excluding the mileage and depreciation. So 321 minus 146 was 175.13. After expenses and after taxes, I made $175 divided by 18. I made $9.72 driving Uber. This was the week prior, not including this week, but the week prior is what I made. So from what you see, I'm making more money driving Uber Eats, and my expenses are less, and my depreciation is a lot less, because this Ford that I'm driving, it has already depreciated its initial value. My Honda Civic has got 22,000 miles on it, and the market value is $14,000 right now. So for that, you see why I'm driving more Uber Eats, because I'm making more money. If I drove, let's say we multiply this by 3 times. I multiplied 78.30 after expenses, after taxes, multiply by 3 times. You can do the math of how much I would be making, right? 3 times 8 is, do the math. 3 times 8 is what? You guys already know. So you guys can see what I would be making. I would be making $240 roughly by putting in 18 hours of my time. So for me, it makes sense. It makes sense to do more of a Uber Eats. Yes, it's a hassle, and driving in the city, not only do I put more miles, so this mileage, $127 miles, is actually not realistic, because I typically put in between 150 to 200 miles on a full tank of gas. Well, this was over 2 days of driving, 2 days worth of driving. So one would argue, well, okay, Uber Eats, DoorDash, it's a hassle. Driving in the city is, excuse me, I dropped my pen cap. What time is it? 11:03. I gotta watch mine. So one can argue, well, why deal with the Uber Eats bullshit if you can make more money driving rideshare? Well, one can argue that, but depending on what you like, what you dislike. I've got a new car that I purchased 3 years ago. I haven't been putting too many miles on it. Up until last year, I was able to use this Ford. Just in December, this past December, my inspection had expired, and because it went over because the age of the car is now past the 10 years, I cannot any longer use this vehicle for Uber or Lyft. These are the regulation in Seattle, so I can't go against that. If I was in another state, I could probably use it. So I was using this car for rideshare, but I am trying not to use my new car driving rideshare simply because it's an expensive car. It falls under the premium brand, and if I had an older Ford, or if I had a beater car that I could use again, I would definitely drive it more. I mainly use it for airport rides. When the airport is open for me, I use it for picking up from the airport, and then I put on a lot of dead miles coming back to the airport. Let's say around 10 p.m. on Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays is when I drive. When the airport is open for me, I'll pick up, I'll go drop off, come back, vice versa. Sometimes I work early mornings by putting the filter destination, and then so I try to focus on having freeway miles on my car because that is a little bit easier on the car and the engine and the chassis and the body of the car. So you guys can see economically, financially, what is feasible for me. Now, if you have a different car, it may make more sense for you, but these are my numbers. My expenses on the Ford Focus are far less than my expenses on the Honda. I'm not going to beat my new car over some peanut fares, like I said, unless I'm picking up from the airport or to the airport. So what we have here is a so-called rematch at the airport. So for instance, Dylan is talking about Bellevue. Bellevue means beautiful view or beautiful area. It's actually a nice part of Seattle. It's to the east side. It's across the lake, Washington Lake. It's actually a fairly rich area. Bellevue has 3,000 corporation registered with the Bellevue Chamber of Commerce. So it's a very rich area. Not far away from Bellevue is Redmond, where Microsoft has got its 30 buildings. So there's a lot of business there. You've got Expedia, you've got Google, you've got Facebook, you've got, they all have these small corporations or big ones. They are branches for the West Coast here in Seattle, Pacific Northwest. So you can see why there's a whole lot of businesses. So if I go from my house to Bellevue, it's about a 15-minute drive, 10 miles give or take. I'll put a destination early morning, drop off at the airport. That's a $25 fare. Automatically I get a so-called rematch. So I get another fare from the airport. I do not have to wait at all. So this is my strategy. This is what I do. But and I only do early mornings or late nights with rideshare. I do airport mainly because it has less stress on my car, less wear and tear. Highway miles are always different. With the Honda, I can expect at least 250,000 miles from it if I maintain it well. So this is why I've been doing a lot more Uber Eats and DoorDash. As you can see, for the amount of time I've put in and after expenses, it makes more sense for me to do Uber and any kind of other gig economy. Amazon Flex is also another option, but we'll leave that for some other time. But yeah, guys, these are my earnings. This is what I'm making, and it may be a little different in your market, but I just wanted to share this. I wanted to put it out there so you guys can know, for all the new drivers, if you are watching this on the replay, it's always good to do on Excel. If you need a template, I'll be more than happy to share with you. There's a lot of templates out there, but plug in your numbers and see where it makes more sense, what makes more sense for you. So only you will know what is beneficial for you and what is more feasible. So I'll leave you with that, guys. I appreciate you coming by. I'm going to end this live right now. For those of you, if you have any questions, feel free to write me. My email is homer032@gmail.com. Feel free to write me if you have any questions. My phone number is also on multiple of the videos. I've put my phone number. Feel free to text me, ask me any questions. I'm available for all the new drivers, the seasoned experienced drivers. They already have the experience, but for all the new drivers, if you have any questions, I am available. Feel free to reach me. Take it easy, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.